said I gotta keep it kosher. In a room full of vultures. Until them angels blow the shofars. I'm a LOZ soldier, LOZ soldier. I gotta keep it kosher. Israelite mentality. We ain't war with flesh and blood, we war with principalities. These pastors be manipulating scriptures, they some Pharisees. An infidel is worse than these crackers. If you ask me, gotta keep it kosher. Israelite mentality. We ain't war with flesh and blood, we war with principalities.
The rate of divorce and the rate at which our people get together but never get married. It's alarming. And it shows that we don't really know how to conduct ourselves in a relationship, because we learn it either from TV, we learn it from our oppressors, or we just learn it from our community. But nonetheless, it never results in what the Most High orchestrated for man and women, which is what? Marriage, right? Now, read that.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 18.
Read.
Wives.
You say what?
Wives.
You say what?
Wives.
You will never find the word girlfriend or boyfriend in the scriptures, right? If y'all seen each other as boyfriend and girlfriend, what's the name, brother? Devin. And you came to me, Devin, and said, hey man, I need some advice. I couldn't give you any advice as a boyfriend because there's nothing in the scriptures that I can show you. I could only give you advice as a husband. I could only give you advice as a wife. Girlfriends don't exist. The problem is that you're acting like a girlfriend. So coming to me for advice is not gonna help, because the problem itself is that you're acting like a girlfriend. So now you would have to follow this advice to fix the issues that's being caused by conducting yourself as a girlfriend or as a boyfriend. Read.
Submit yourselves.
They say do what?
Submit yourselves.
Submit yourselves. Read.
Unto your own husbands.
Unto your who?
Unto your own husbands.
Read.
As it is fit in the Lord.
As it's what?
As it is fit in the Lord.
In most women's eyes, it's not fit to submit to your husband. If you were to tell some of your friends or on social media, to them it's not fit for you to submit to your husband, but it's fit in the eyes of who? The Lord, right? He's the one who orchestrated marriage, right? Just like the function of that hat is to go on the top of your head. If I wore a hat on the top of my toes, you would ask me what I'm doing. It's not made for that, right? The union between man and woman is not supposed to be destructive. It's supposed to be blissful, but it has to be done in the order that the Most High gave. So first we got the woman submitting to herself to her husband. But if she doesn't see it like that, she's not going to submit, because she's supposed to be submitted to her husband, and all you are is a boyfriend. Read.
Husbands.
And say what?
Husbands.
Read.
Love your wives.
Do what?
Love your wives.
Read.
And be not bitter against them.
Love your wives and be not bitter against them. Although we are the man, although we are the head of our family, we're supposed to be able to rule with compassion, with mercy and understanding, right? Because understanding that she is the weaker vessel. Satan is going to attack her first. But you, as the man, although you do establish order, you have to have that compassion. A lot of times, men try to rule with an iron fist, right? And they destroy their wives in the process, because a lot of us have never been in a position of power. We come from oppression, we come from slavery. So the first time we're in a position of power, we abuse it, right? Read.
Children, obey your parents in all things.
They say what?
Children, obey your parents in all things.
Read.
For this is well pleasing unto the Lord.
Do y'all have children? One day y'all hope to have children, right? So now, all right, hey, sometimes that be what it is, right? But what you have to start understanding, and what you have to understand is that this is the house of Devin, right? And what's your name? Tashel is your helpmeet. Devin is trying to establish order and godliness in his house. And Tashel is supposed to be trying to help him do just that. When children are brought forth, you now are both responsible, teaching them how they contribute to a godly household. But children eventually get smart one day. So you can't just talk to them, you have to be examples. Why not start to be those examples now, so when the children do come, you're not worrying about them catching you doing something that you're not supposed to do, right? So the union between man and woman is supposed to be marriage. But we're tricked into thinking that we're not married until we go and sign a piece of paper. But the covenant indeed is this. Give me Exodus chapter 22 and verse 16. Most women are taught, live out your 20s, have fun, find out what you like, settle down in your 30s. We glorify being whoremongers in our teens and our 20s, right? Because when we think about marriage, we think of the negatives. Well, I might get divorced, and if I get divorced, now I have to deal with legal fees, and I have to deal with, on top of that, all of the BS that just comes with that. So I'd rather just stay single, right? Or I'd rather just be with somebody for a certain amount of years, and then in the end, I'll probably just marry him because, I mean, hey, nothing can really happen now. We've been together so long, I might as well marry him, right? Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16.
Read.
And if a man entice a maid,
So if a man speak game to a woman, read.
that is not betrothed,
A single woman, read.
and lie with her,
And do what?
and lie with
And they
her,
have sex, read.
he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
No, maybe.
He shall surely endow her to be his
You
wife.
got to think about it.
He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
So now let's think about it in retrospect. So what's your name again? Tasha, right? Devin, you met Tasha. Now, when you met Tasha, you like how she looked, you like how she speaks. You say, you know what? I want to take this woman out. I want to get to know her. Now, if you would have had in your mind, but wait, if I have sex with this woman, I have to marry her as per God's commandments. That's a tough decision to make. Because now, if I get mad, now, if I don't like the way she acts, I can't just up and leave her. I have to stay with her. This is a lifelong commitment. So let me do my due diligence in understanding who this woman is and see if she's beneficial into building the house of Devin. Right? Now, the thing about it is, she might not like how Devin is running his house because Devin is using the commandments to run his house. And a lot of times a woman might say, you're putting me in a box. You're trying to control me. You don't want me to have fun. But guess what? If you allow her to do whatever, eventually your house is going to be destroyed. Because it's nothing for another man to come and take her. And guess what? Everything that you built with her is gone anyway. Right? So now you got a piece of your house missing. It was there, now it's gone because it was stolen away. But now if you relate to her, hey, listen, I'm taking you to be my wife. Her mindset is now, oh, maybe I did want to sleep with Devin. Maybe I did want to, fiddle around with him. But to be his wife, I don't think I'm ready for that commitment. So in order to gauge how this union is going to go, we have to be using God's commandments so that its foundational structure is built off of what the Most High said. A lot of us, we just sleep around. After a couple of months, we get tired of each other.
What kind of sauce?
We leave. The reason why there's so much, baby, if I gave you a scavenger hunt and said, bring me back 10 women who are wives and 10 women who are baby mamas, which one you think you're going to find first? The 10 baby mamas. It's easy, right? Because they're not thinking when we sleep together that we're husband and wife. They're thinking one night stand, sneaky link, quick fling, and then we go on about our business. Because we've been taught to live out our young age and then settle down on the latter part of our lives. But that the Most High never orchestrated that for us. Why? Because now we have the single parent households. How old are you? Remind me that. 25. How old are you? 22. As we got older and we're now at the ages where our parents had us, we realized why they didn't stay together. They never had any chemistry. They were just messing around. Oops, now I got Devin coming, right? So now we don't want to continue to have that cycle go because that's the true generational curse. The true generational curse is that we never kept those commandments. Deuteronomy 28:15, last scripture, right? Deuteronomy 28:15. That's the generational curse. It's not we just didn't, something happened and we just didn't have the father in our home. No. It was the simple fact that when our father lay with our mother, he had no intention of marrying her. And vice versa, she had no intention of marrying him. Regardless of they say, oh, I thought I had a good man. Most of our women want men for the wrong reason, right? They want them to be their personal slaves, so to speak, and do whatever they bid them. Happy wife, happy life. That's garbage. What about your happiness, bro? That don't make sense, right? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Read.
But it shall come to pass,
The Most High is speaking to our forefathers. Read.
if thou would not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy
It
God,
says, if you would not hearken unto the voice of God, read.
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day,
Read.
that all these curses,
All these what?
all these curses,
Read.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
God made it very clear to the Israelites through Moses that if we didn't heed his commandments, that curses were going to come upon us. Now, just like when your parent might tell you something, you might have tested them to see if they really going to say what they really going to do what they said. And guess what? They did exactly what they said. And then you realize, damn, they wasn't playing. Now, this is the Most High. He don't have to lie, and he don't have to try to scare you. He's letting you know exactly what it is. And either you're going to find out the hard way, or you're going to find out the easy way. Go to verse 54.
Verse 54.
Read. This is one of the curses. Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate,
right,
his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
So the way we treat each other in the neighborhoods, especially us men and our sisters also, right? The way we treat each other with disrespect and as if we have no value, that was already prophesied in the scriptures as one of the curses. That's why they joke on us about black on black crime. We point the finger at the so-called white man, but then they say, well, y'all kill each other, right? It's a stigma in our community that we do wrong to each other, and then when another nationality does wrong to us, now we're in an uproar. But that was prophesied in the Bible that the eye was going to be evil towards our brother. Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And towards who?
And toward the wife of his bosom.
This man who used to be, what's good, bro? How everything going on, bro? Now his eye is not only evil toward his brother, but towards the wife of his bosom. And what's going to happen?
And toward the remnant of his children.
Read.
Which he shall lead.
Which he shall do what?
Which he shall lead.
Which he shall lead. Right? So now we understand why we didn't have our fathers in the household. Because they had that hateful eye towards the mother, guess what? They got up and left. Right? Now you might say, well, it's not always that way. Sometimes it's the mother who keeps the child away from the father. And you're absolutely correct. Read.
So that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat.
Read.
Because he have nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Right. Read.
The tender and delicate woman.
Now we're talking about the woman. So it said the man, he's going to have hatred towards his brother, he's going to have hatred towards his wife, even his children, which he shall lead. Now it's talking about the woman who used to be delicate. Read.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set her soul foot upon the ground for delicateness.
Our women used to be so tender and delicate that they didn't even want to put their foot on the ground because of the dust. Now some of our sisters fight barefoot in the street. Right? But our women used to be so tender and delicate, they would say, man, you're going to have to lift me up and carry me across the road. Right? Because what they call them now, passenger princess, that's how they used to be, right? They used to be so delicate. They just want to sit and look pretty, right? Read.
And tenderness.
Her
eye.
Her what?
Her eye.
Her eye. Read.
Shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
Of her what?
Of her bosom.
It says the eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom. Keep reading.
And toward her son.
And to what?
And toward her son.
And toward her son. Read.
And toward her daughter.
And to what?
And toward her daughter.
This picture is the best visual representation of what we just read. It says, I hate her, I hate him, but they do it for me. This is what our community is. This picture is what we just read about the curses in our Bible. That your eye was going to be evil towards her, her eye was going to be evil towards you, and the children were going to suffer. And that's exactly what we see. So when we don't follow the formula, we see the result, which is single-parent households. So what about following the formula? What will we see? Two-parent households, a loving husband, and a submissive wife. But we have to follow the formula. If you try to conduct your marriage in any other parameters, it won't work because you didn't create it. The Most High created it. He tells you how it works. You can't take something the Most High create and then change how it operates. It doesn't work like that. Can you walk up to somebody's job and say, hey, this is how we gonna do things? Who are you? You just walked off the street and you gonna come to my business and tell me how things run? It don't work like that, right? Even if I promoted you to CEO, it's still my business. You don't get to make those changes because it's my creation. And that's how the Most High deals with the children of Israel. Once he made you, he gave you a rule book, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. If you follow it, everything goes smooth. As soon as you feel like you want to do something against it, guess what now? You got to pay the price. And not just you, but your children's children. So as men, we have to make the conscious decision that I'm not going to do that to my child. Here's the part. We can't do it, bro. Or else can we really call ourselves men? That you literally allowed your child to live in a cursed estate because you wasn't strong enough to serve the Lord. That's the type of thinking you gotta have, Devin. Because remember, your house has now started, and that's the first one of it. The children is gonna be the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. You're gonna be responsible for every single last one of them. Because that's the position that the Most High put you in. And you gotta take that as serious as if your life depended on it, because it does. Because if you mess up, your whole house could pay for it. And we read about that in Judges 7. when a man named Achan took something, when we went to war, the Most High told us not to take anything. When they found out it was him, they burnt him and his whole family. So it's not a game. And this is your wife, and that is your husband. And y'all need to get into these scriptures and understand how to conduct your marriage. Forget what social media is saying. Forget what y'all friends are saying. Y'all only here to please one person, and that's the Most High God. Because he's the one who is going to allow your marriage to blossom and not fail like we see everybody else's, because they don't truly have God in their life. So I just wanted to bring y'all that, because what, the one I just read?
Deuteronomy 28.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 54 to 56. Right? But conclusion, a nation is just a bunch of families. Right? So if your family straight, my family straight, his family straight, and his family straight, our nation now starts to become stronger. But if Devin's family is weak, guess what? We still got a weak link in our nation. And we need to build our nation one family at a time. You don't have children yet. One day you will. I'm 31. Right? So I'm 6 years older than you. But nonetheless, I'm telling you, now that I have a wife and a child, and a wife who's in these scriptures, and us teaching him, it's not easy being the head of the household. It's not easy being a man, right? You have to build yourself up to a certain caliber in order to really, really do what the Most High is asking you to do. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice, and it's going to take a lot of humility. Because the way you was raised, I can tell you right now, more than likely, is not the way that the Most High is going to want you to be. But because you're in the position of headship, you have no choice but to be a head as he tells you how to do it. You can't do your own thing, right? And that's being submissive unto Christ. So when you learn how to be submissive unto Christ, she's submissive unto you, and the children are submissive unto y'all, everything falls in order. All right? So listen, bro, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right?
Stay strong, I'm a warrior. 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 Stay strong, I'm a warrior.